Welcome to the Big Play Reflog Show. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside Nick Pedone and Chris McNeil. We're celebrating another Victory Monday, and it feels so good.
Victory Monday on the show. You can't beat it. You know, it sucks coming in here after a loss, and then you just have to rehash what happened, the week before. So it is nice that we get to talk about a big Browns victory, but then also get ready for the Ravens, because that can't just be a one-hit wonder. They have a AFC North opponent coming up. This AFC North is shaping up to be a tough little thing that we got going on here. Steelers keep winning, so gotta win these games.
One-hit wonder, that is not Myles Garrett. He's a multi-hit wonder. Okay, speaking of hits, our defense, I know we'll talk more about it, but McNeil, how excited are you?
I'll tell you what, I had a great weekend. You talk about threes. Sometimes good things come in threes. We had the Browns win. We had the Buckeyes with an absolutely huge win on Saturday night. Yes. And then my son in football on Friday night, that was actually rescheduled to Saturday, they also won, so wore Bishop Rosecrans on that one. So very good weekend in the McNeil household, of course, capped off with our Browns yesterday, and it feels so good. So much better to be sitting here today with a nice big W under our belt.
Yeah, the Big Play tailgate was a lot of fun. We had the stage up and rolling. We had Greg Williams up with us again.
How about Greg Williams?
For some come get some.
He's
and
so awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing Greg Williams onto the Big Play Network now. So welcome Greg and along with his son Blake, and they are indeed going to come get some with us every single week on the show, I think.
And then the energy that he brings, and then the knowledge. Him being able to stand up there. Yeah, exactly. And break down what Jim Schwartz is doing right now with our defense and what to expect for the day. And he was absolutely right in all of his breakdowns of exactly how we were going to go at the Titans and kind of go after their very weak pass defense and probably not run the ball, as much. And then defensively, we just got after it all afternoon.
It's creepy how right he is, when he does these breakdowns. Well, speaking of defense, we're going to bring in our guest interview today, Browns defensive tackle Shelby Harris. Let's get to it. All right, we are bringing in our featured Labatt guest, Browns defensive tackle Shelby Harris. First of all, thanks for giving us your time and welcome to Cleveland. I know you haven't been here too long.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm from Milwaukee, so I'm familiar with Midwestern cities and
sure.
How they're a little bit different. And, I embrace it. It's real cool. It's nice to be back in the Midwest, and it's nice to be winning.
How's it been just getting reacclimated with, moving and the family stuff, and just how do you like the team?
Oh man, I'd say it's been an interesting journey getting moved and trying to find a house, going back and forth, trying to then get the house furnished and getting all that stuff done. But it's just I would say my wife's the champ. She's been really getting this all done, and it's really been no issues for me. But but team-wise, I love the team. I love all the personalities on the team. I love just my D-line group. Like we all gel really well together. We all actually like each other as people, and so it's just it's made it very easy to be here.
Yeah, obviously you were a free agent kind of late into the process, joined us here in Cleveland a little bit later into the offseason. What ultimately led you towards Cleveland and led you towards the Browns when that opportunity arose this summer?
I honestly think that, when we came out here for a visit, they invited me and they invited my wife to come. And I think that was a big for us, it was a big deal because, they were involving her in the process. And then, when we got here and it was just, talking to, Coach Stefanski, talking to Schwartz, and it's just, it just felt like the place to be. And it felt like they were really going to be on the rise this year. And it's really, for me, it's validating to have, really made the right decision.
What can you say about Jim Schwartz? What do you think of him?
Man, he's the best D coordinator I've played for. He's just so much experience, so much he just makes the right calls at the perfect, like, the right times. And it's real nice to, not have to worry about your play caller and your scheme and all. It's like he has that stuff jam packed, and he really knows what he's doing. And so, I think it's nice when you have full, confidence in the person calling plays.
What's his personality like? I feel like obviously he knows his stuff, but it's also another thing to get everybody on the same page and really behind him. What is his personality?
He's real. He's honest. But he cracks a lot of jokes too. He's hilarious, and so it's just it's easy to get along with him. It's easy to work with him if you're about ball. He's a long-time football coach, and so, he's seen a lot of personalities. He's seen a lot of players, throughout the years, being a head coach in Detroit, those years in Philly when they won the Super Bowl, and that's he just he gets it, and he knows how to really get through to players.
This offseason, Greg Newsome told us that he was kind of harping on that he wanted the defense to lead the league in badassery. We're through 3 weeks now, Shelby. You guys look like one of the best defenses in all of football. We want to hear it from you. In your estimation, are you leading the NFL in badassery up to this point?
Man, I would say it really. Here's the thing: it's like none of that stuff matters until we start, unless we keep it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like none of that stuff that we've done the first 3 weeks, none of that crap matters at all, because I've been on teams that started 2-1, 3-0, that ended 5-12. Like 5-12.
Yeah.
5-11. Like those. So we have so much that we can get better at, and so much that we can fix, that we've messed up in the first 3 games, and we're not gonna be satisfied until we can potentially play a perfect game, which isn't possible. Obviously you're never gonna play a perfect game, but we're just never satisfied.
What's your job like lining up next to Myles Garrett?
Easy. No, it's just I'm telling, it's just Myles is a freak of nature. It's cool playing next to him. And then, but it's just cool playing next to all the guys: Dalvin, Obo, Jordan, Zadarius, Alex, Jordan, Mo. Like everybody, everybody truly brings something different to the line. And it's just and that's the thing, we haven't even scratched the surface of what we really could be, because everyone's still starting to still getting to know each other, still getting to know how other people rush, and it's just it's cool to see it all coming together, but it's still so much, we're still so far away from where we could be.
I love that you pointed out, as probably given all your experience, the fact that the first few weeks, it's hard to draw anything, and it really doesn't matter. He's taken like the zoomed out approach here. How long do you think it takes for a team, especially with some new pieces, to really start to gel?
I would truly say it takes, I think not really until the end of the season, because it's not, you got to be hitting your stride right before the playoffs, and then you want the playoffs hot. And so truly, like, it doesn't matter how hot you are the first 15 weeks of the season, if you're not going out there balling the last 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season and going into a playoffs hot, and then you go out there and lose the first round, that's not are you going to call that a successful season? You know what I mean? So it's all about keeping your head down and just going to work.
Shelby, we were talking about Myles Garrett for a little bit there, and just the freak of nature that he is any given Sunday. I want to ask you, you have a Euro step in your bag from the interior?
Man, when I was hooping back in the day, you know what I mean? But, I always said this about, pass rushing, it truly is like playing basketball. It's like with crossovers. It's the same. You can incorporate the same type of footwork from basketball that you can in the football pass rushing. And that's why I say that most pass rushers played different sports and played basketball, because it just helps with your footwork.
Did you play any other sports? We also kind of want to get to know you. You know, what can we get to know about you that I don't know if that's interesting, or other sports you've played? Give us a little bit.
Well, in high school I played football. I was 3-year varsity basketball player. I ran hurdles for a year.
Okay, 100 or 400?
Both.
Wow.
Oof, that 400 hurdles, my guy. That's the hardest. That's probably arguably the hardest event in track and field.
Yeah, it's awful. It's completely awful. But I did that my freshman year. But yeah, I played basketball my whole 4 years of high school. I actually have a couple records in basketball, and it's not for what you expect. Given my height, I would say, you would never expect me to I lead my high school in block shots, in a career, block shots in a game, block shots in a season. All the block shot records I have at my high school.
No 3-point records. What's the outside jumper looking like?
I wasn't a 3-point shooter at all. I don't think I made a single 3-pointer all high. I don't think I shot a single 3-pointer all high school. It's all about getting to the cup, man, and just making plays.
I love it.
I wonder if he'd block Miles trying to dunk.
Yeah, there's a little basketball duo right there too. I didn't think about that.
Never been dunked on before, but I don't plan on it starting today.
When we talk about this Browns defense and just how fun things have been, a lot of that has come at home, at Cleveland Browns Stadium. How much do the fans play a role when the stadium is rocking? Do you guys feel that energy?
Man, of course. That's a big advantage for us, is when teams can't communicate because it's so loud and they have to waste a timeout, or, half the offense is doing one play, half the offense is doing another. No, that's a testament to the fans and how great the fans have been here. Like, we've had a real home field advantage, these 2 home games, and teams definitely feel it. And, the players, we feed off of that.
Absolutely. And we want to keep, I think the fans here in Cleveland want to keep feeding you guys and keep having these great defensive performances. 6 points allowed at home through 2 weeks. We got to keep it up, Shelby. We're so excited to have you. Thanks so much for popping on the show with us. Tell everybody where people can go follow you. We want to make sure Cleveland could give you some love on social for popping on with us.
Yeah, man. It's funny. I actually don't really know most of my social handles. I think it's Instagram, Shelby Harris 96, I think. And then Twitter, Shelby Harris 93. But hey, hit the follow, go follow your boy.
What are we calling it? Are we calling it Twitter? Are we calling it X? We've had the debate on the show. We can't figure it out.
I see the difference is it's been Twitter for me, so for so long it'll say Twitter.
Yeah, it's been Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's been Twitter for us too.
Well, hopefully we pack in the house for you guys against the Ravens and we get another dub. Thanks so much for coming on and just sharing some of your personality. It's always good to get to know the new people and make you feel at home.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Shelby. Go Browns. All righty, good stuff out of Shelby. Obviously, a big key addition to the Browns defense this year and the new look, really new look defense with Jim Schwartz. It's been a lot of fun. Those guys are playing inspired football. They're playing free. They're playing fast. It's all positives out of that side of the ball, and it has been all year.
Certainly the best defense of my lifetime, of your lifetime, of many people's lifetimes. I go back to the 85 Bears, the way they played yesterday. They didn't let anything go by. I mean, that was incredible.
Memes. Those were good.
Is this top 3 defense in the league right now? Top 1 defense in the league right now? I mean, they're holding opponents 6 points combined, at home at Cleveland Browns Stadium. The defense is for real, and they're going to keep this up by all indications. They're going to be in every football game because that defense is so good.
Less than 100 yards?
Less than 100 yards yesterday.
Okay, that was
incredible.
A cute video that I liked when they showed Wyatt Teller's reaction. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
and the defense when Stefanski was rattling that off. It's very impressive. This is exciting.
They allowed 94 yards, 68 pass yards yesterday as a defensive unit. That's incredible. And now national people are starting to take notice, and we're talking about the talking heads. You got guys like Chris Collinsworth calling us elite. I don't normally agree with Chris Collinsworth. I do in this case. So it's great to see finally this defense, the Jim Schwartz defense, getting some recognition nationally, because it's no secret to anybody who's been watching it so far this year, and even in the preseason, Jim Schwartz has brought a new swagger to this Cleveland Browns defense, and it's great to see.
Absolutely. Before we get into fill in the blank, guys, we were talking about all the good things that happened this past weekend with the Buckeyes, with the Browns, with our tailgate. There was one other thing that I feel like we have to mention on the show, and that is our buddy, Josh Cribbs, was nominated again for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The 4th time for Josh. Very well deserved. We got to get Josh Cribbs into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And when you look at the way that the league is going with these kicks, there will never be another Josh Cribbs. The way that the rule changes have happened. NFL record with 2 kick return touchdowns of 100+ yards in one single game. 11 return touchdowns, 3 punts, 8 kickoffs. Second most kickoff returns for a touchdown in NFL history. That's all on the offensive side of special teams. Not to mention he was elite on kick coverage. I don't think that we need Cribbs in there as a return man. We need him in as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, special teams player of all time. I'm not a Hall of Fame voter yet. My journalism career has not taken me that far, but I know a couple. Mary Kay Cabot, Tony Grossi. When you guys are filling out those ballots, give a good consideration to my favorite Cleveland Brown of all time, Mr. Josh Cribbs. We got to put him in there.
And that was during very lean times, as you guys know, for the Cleveland Browns. He was on special teams, returning the ball, like you said, coverage on special teams. He was playing defense at times. He played offense. You know, he played out of that wildcat. He was all over the field. He was doing everything, including serving hot dogs in the stands. It's amazing to see what he did for this franchise. During some times when you didn't have a whole lot to root for, Josh Cribbs was the guy who we could root for.
There were a lot of games, Chris, for me growing up, that if Josh Cribbs didn't get the Browns into field goal range, that was it. You might as well have just brought out the punter right then and there. So, you know, Josh was the only option for the Browns to score. He did that plenty, but just a Hall of Fame career, and he deserves that recognition. Obviously, the Hall of Fame has given him that nomination 4 times now, but it's time to solidify this and make Josh Cribbs the next Brown into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And just such a likable person.
Great
He's one
dude.
of those just likable figures. He reminds me of Chubb in the aspect of, you know, it was hard to hate him, and it's still like he's just so beloved.
I mean, we even did that thing with him for when Joe Thomas got inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And there were even Steeler fans that were like, Cribbs gave it to us, man. Like, I love Cribbs, you know, like just that respect that he has around the league is really cool. All right, guys. Well, what do you say we move on? We keep talking some more Browns, some Buckeyes, and we fill in some blanks.
Let's do it.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, my confidence level in the Browns offense, because we talked a lot of defense, but offense is
hovering about a 7. How about a 7?
It was a little scary to start.
That was, yes, it was a 3 and out right off the bat. But then obviously he got locked in, Deshaun Watson, that is, and was able to get this offense kind of cranking. He was very efficient on the day. We saw him a lot more comfortable, I felt, kind of going over the middle. We had talked in pregame and we talked last week on how he seemed to really kind of clam up when he was going out and throwing routes out to the sidelines, and he was having a harder time, or he was preferring to throw out to the sidelines, and he'd clam up when he was throwing over the middle. And this time he's felt more comfortable throwing over the middle. The sideline routes were still there. I like it when he's taking a short step back and he's firing the ball wide open receivers, and we saw that all day long from the Titans, giving us several options for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Chris. I'm feeling better, but now he's got to replicate it. I mean, last year we were all feeling really good about Deshaun Watson's performance against the Washington Commanders, and then it slid from there. So you can't have a slide, especially this coming week against the Baltimore Ravens. Yep. Things have to be maintained, and the run game they need to. That's a work in progress, but they got to keep figuring it out. I mean, Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, Pierre Strong combined for 58 yards on the ground on 21 carries. That's not great. You got to figure that out. Jed Wills, there's that damning picture of him kind of surfacing the internet where he's blocking on the inside and the pass rusher is coming through on his rear end. Like there is still a lot of stuff that they could fix. But that's the best part about a Victory Monday. Despite all of that, negatives, they came out with a huge ass-kicking victory, so a lot of positives to take away as well. Still room for improvement.
Myles Garrett is a top blank number player in the NFL.
So just total our rank of Myles Garrett in the NFL.
Yes.
Are you talking defensive?
I think just overall.
Defense
overall.
Or offense.
I mean, if I'm saying defense, you could keep your Nick Bosas, your Aaron Donalds. I'll take that. Myles Garrett that we saw yesterday is elite. He's Hall of Fame. He's all-time, 3.5 sacks. He's moving all over the field. That play where he's moving the line of scrimmage, and they've got two guys for the Titans trying to chase him around pre-snap. So he is so in teams' heads right now.
Yeah.
And what they're doing and what they're scheming, it's unbelievable. He changes the entire look of a ball game for both defensively and offensively. He's absolutely elite, and I would take him over any of those guys right now.
So it was cool watching the game. Another shameless plug for the network, I guess, with Greg and Blake Williams. And twice he created a sack that knocked the Titans out of field goal range. And they said they would call those 3-point sacks. That he took away 3 points from the other team, and he did that twice on Sunday. So that's really 6 points that Myles Garrett saved for the Browns. So definitely a top defender in the league overall. There's probably some quarterbacks ahead of him, but
sure,
yeah, one of the best players overall in the entire NFL. If you were to, every team lost every player, and you were going to draft today, 1 through whatever, Myles Garrett would be probably a top 15 pick, top 10 pick, and the rest of them are probably all quarterbacks, Aaron Donald and Nick Bosa.
And he's fun. When he's running around on the field like that, got two guys chasing him. The week before, what's he doing? He's going in between his legs, or 2 weeks before. Yeah, with the basketball crossovers. I mean, we've got Halloween coming up here in a few weeks. We always know he leans hard into Halloween at his house. I can't wait to see what the gravestones are going to say this year. Probably quarterbacks that he's added a few to again this year. So I'm just excited about what he does for this defense and making us go, and really just being the spirit of the Cleveland Browns, especially when you have a void with Nick Chubb gone now.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Myles is very superhuman-esque, and speaking of Nick Chubb, we didn't really get a chance to talk about those results that came back. My favorite meme on the internet right now, or someone tweeted, like, he's the only guy who could snap his leg in half and only have, like, a MCL tear or whatever.
Yeah. Really good news.
Really good news, because the way it looked, you're really fearful for his career. But honestly, what do you guys think? He's gonna. I mean, 6 to 8 months. Do you think he'll be able to come back next year and be?
He's done
himself?
it once.
Yeah, he's done it once.
Time
I think he'll do it again.
again.
Ian Rappaport from NFL Network already saying that he's planning his return for next season. It's funny to see some of the people online that are like, if the Browns make the Super Bowl, there's an outside chance that Chubb would play in it. Like,
I love that chatter. Screw it. I love that chatter. We're so negative. Why not? Why not throw that?
I feel like if you ask Nick Chubb, that's probably where his head's at, but I don't think that will, in sound reasoning, let him ever
manifest that Super Bowl in whatever form.
Yeah, but I mean, just the best possible outcome for that dude. And it was cool to see, really, like, all throughout last week, the outpour of support from around the league. Every player, the who's who of the league, Mahomes reaching out. And in the NBA, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell here locally. His old high school put up that huge Chubb banner that they ran through. So
and then yesterday,
Kareem Hunt with the 24.
And then the Browns go and win by 24. I thought
the
that
24.
Was, very well done
he
by
just
the
got
Browns.
the chills. He is a special dude. I'm so thrilled to hear that news. Just, you want to see good people win like that, and for our team and everything else.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. Okay, the Ohio State Notre Dame game was
Ohio versus the world, baby. I tell you, yeah.
Can you guys talk about that post-game interview?
I absolutely love that. Ryan Day takes a lot of heat online. Anybody who's online realizes he takes a lot of heat for his play calling. That whole born on third mentality that he's been glossed with. On top of that, you got 87-year-old Lou Holtz out there questioning how hard his team is. And he all week has to hear that he's got a soft team. And what do? They go out there on Saturday, play a very, very physical game. And ironically, that culminates in what? A run over the goal line, at the goal line, where it's just line up R11 on your 10 in this case and see who's going to be better. Because Notre Dame only brought 10 guys on that play. We ran them all over. We ended up winning that ball game. That was huge. I didn't expect us to end up. I felt that was going to go the other way. I really got nervous toward the end of that game. Kudos to Ryan Day. Afterwards, he was telling everybody, everybody saw the post game, right? So I watched the post game, and then I was listening to it on the radio. He went on the radio broadcast after that, and then in his presser and reiterated the same exact thing. Ohio versus the world, how mad he was at Lou Holtz. He was fired up.
That is so
He was
funny.
fired up.
It was so funny that he cut a WWE promo about how tough his team was. And the play that he was talking about, his opponent only had 10 guys on the field. Like, I know you're fired up, Ryan. Let's chill out maybe a little bit about 86-year-old senile Lou Holtz. Like, they only had 10 guys on the field. It was a fun win. Usually, you become so accustomed to watching these Buckeyes games on Saturday. And come third, fourth quarter, you're watching backups. They're beating down on the little sisters of the poor 59-10. But that was not what we saw against Notre Dame. That probably was their toughest test up until Penn State, Michigan.
Yeah.
So
do you think
it was
that
a good
they
showing.
proved that they're physical enough to win big games? I mean, those 2 Michigan losses they've taken in the past.
And that's been a question mark.
Yeah.
And you also had Kyle McCord. The lights were brightest. He looked good. He outplayed Sam Hartman out there.
Yeah, that last drive was ballsy. I mean, to have just kind of a lackluster Buckeye career to this point, and really some frustrating moments mixed in there, to go out there and put together a game-winning drive that they were able to punch in on the goal line. It was cool to see them rally like that.
It was 2 old men being taken down: Lou Holtz, Sam Hartman. That's ultimately what the Buckeyes did. Kyle McCord on the field, Ryan Day afterwards, taking down those old men, the Golden Domers.
Did you guys bet on the game, and where does this rank for you in terms of best OSU regular season games?
I did not bet on it. I'll be honest. I was way too nervous. My head was saying Notre Dame. My heart was saying
that's
Ohio
why
State.
I didn't do money line.
I was conflicted, so I just stayed away. In terms of all-time regular season games, it's up there. Obviously, some of the walk-off performances that they've had against Michigan are always going to beat that out. I think about the one where I think it was Curtis Samuel, walked into the end zone with his hands, held wide apart. But, man, that one was up there. And Chip Traynham, hell of a run at the end.
I lost on one of our boosts. We had Ohio State 3.5 and Ibuka to score a touchdown.
Because that was Bobby and Schlegels. That was
yeah.
their guy that they thought was going to score, and obviously the Buckeyes just barely didn't cover that. But
Bobby and Schlegels, you owe me $20.
it was a lot of fun.
That's funny. Let's switch gears to baseball. It's been kind of a bummer of a season, and Terry Francona retiring, 11 seasons in Cleveland. What do you think of his tenure? Terry Francona's tenure in Cleveland was
restorative. I really think so. We went through that period after Mike Hargrove, where we had guys like Manny Acta in here, Eric Wedge in here, guys that weren't exactly inspiring, I don't think, to the team. And we know the way that the Indians, now Guardians, are kind of thought of. We're not going to spend a whole lot of money, so this organization really needs some credibility. And that's exactly what Terry Francona gives this organization and has now for 11 years. And that's been fantastic. You think of guys who respect him like Giambi coming here and having an impact, these veteran players. So he was not only able to relate to those veteran players, but also the younger guys. And that's It's always going to be the core focus of this organization with the way we go about business is developing younger guys. And he was able to do that while still relating to these veteran pieces that would come in here and make some runs. 2016 was magical. I know it didn't work out the way we wanted to, but Terry Francona was the engine that drove that season. I really feel that way. And so I'll always remember him very fondly here in Cleveland.
Same. It was a historic tenure is my answer to it. And I think when we look back on Tito in Cleveland in 20 years, we put him in the same breath as some of the great coaches that have graced this city. You know, Marty Schottenheimer, and I think Terry
Lenny
Francona
Wilkins. Lenny Wilkins back in the day.
I think he has solidified himself in that conversation for Cleveland baseball history just because of the success that he had over an 11-year time frame, 9 winning seasons in baseball. That's not easy to do. It's a long grind every year.
And let's be honest, in this market, with the amount of resources you're given, it's not like he's back in Boston. He's not getting Boston resources. He's not getting New York resources.
He had 9 winning seasons out of the 11, made the playoffs 6 times.
Yeah. Manager of the year thrice.
Yep, manager of the year 3
not
times.
Not once, not twice, but thrice.
Cleveland only made the playoffs 1 time in the 11 years before Francona.
Good times. Good times. We were all watching Josh Cribbs at that time.
Yeah, it's just speaks to how quickly he was able to turn it around. And I remember when he was hired, it was the talk of the town. Like Cleveland baseball was really back the moment that he decided to come to Cleveland and lived up to that hype really from day one.
What is your favorite Tito memory?
Oh, I've got one.
Okay.
Trevor Bauer. When Trevor Bauer chucked that ball in Kansas City, chucks the ball over center field. What did Terry Francona? He goes, yes. What the F is wrong with you?
Yeah,
and that's exactly what everybody in the stand, everyone watching at home, everybody around baseball, everyone nationally, everyone who isn't even a baseball fan was thinking at that moment. He walked out there and said that to Trevor Bauer. What the F is wrong with you?
What the F is wrong with you?
I will never forget that. He mouthed it, and you could tell, even without the audio, exactly what he said to Trevor Bauer. And that was the question at the moment. I will always remember that. Not only was that a crazy scene with Trevor, but then the way he reacted.
Yeah, that was so great. That's a good one, Chris.
Definitely. I think mine, it's so cliche to say, but it's just all the postseason appearances. Because you knew with Tito and with the way that he would stack the pitching rotation going in, when the regular season ended and you got those couple days to get ready for the playoffs, you knew Terry was going to have the pitching rotation stacked for you to compete. And I think that was always just my favorite Tito memory is going into any series, even against the Yankees with a small market like us, you felt like you had a legitimate chance. And, you take a look at some of the other sports in town, basketball. When you're going up against the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, obviously you want to see the Cavs pull the upset, but the Cavs were like 18.5 point underdogs in a championship series in each and every one of those games. They realistically didn't have that great of a shot. With Terry, you always had a shot. And I think that just speaks to the type of manager that he was.
My favorite about Terry Francona is just his sheer personality. Because there's so many things like in post-game press conferences that are just he makes so funny. Like when he got in the ump's face, which is another favorite. Just going ballistic on the umps. Like I think it was last year he had an epic one and then in the post-game press conference, he got asked about it. And in his own Terry Francona way, like he's so freaking likable and he's so good at collecting himself and just saying something like almost comical to make light of it. Because I remember he said something to the effect of, I was checking on his family. He was asking about my family, like saying, when it came to blows in each other's face, I was just checking on his family. He was checking on my family and, so just his personality and like riding around on the scooter, his scooter getting stolen. And it was like this whole thing of the town because we know him by that because he's freaking just down to earth, just riding by on his scooter around the city. He's just a unique personality, so relatable, down to earth, and funny. Just flat out funny.
How about his rivalry with Kevin Cash down there at the Rays? Isn't that fantastic? You spoke about his scooter. Wasn't it Kevin Cash who brought it out on the field before batting practice and had them hit balls at it? I mean, they go back and forth and have things on the scoreboard, demeaning each other. And I thought that was fantastic. It's nice that you have a guy who's old school like that who can still have fun with baseball. And
Yeah.
that's what he
Yes,
also
exactly.
brought. Not only the success, but Terry Francona brought some fun to that manager's office.
And that's why he was so timeless. It didn't matter
Yeah.
what kind of group he got. Everybody bought in because of his ability to really just bring fun, but bring that winning element also. Like, he was business when it was business, and then he was fun when it's fun.
He's a human. Like you
Yeah.
listen to him talk, and it's like oh, like that. Like his voice is recognizable. He's recognizable, like you said, Gab. Like you knew that like if you hung out downtown enough, you'd probably see him buzzing by on his scooter. Like, oh, there he goes after a game. He just became just such a known figure in Cleveland, and it'll truly be a bummer. Now that he's calling it, because
tough shoes
big
to fill.
big huge shoes to fill. Yeah.
One last thing, when Jose popped Tim Anderson, and in the post game press conference,
He was like, it's not funny,
It's
but
not
it is
funny.
kind of funny.
it's not funny, but
He loved it. He loves it just like we all did.
he's just like everybody's dad. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to explain it. He's just awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad we gave him a little tribute.
Same, absolutely, and it'll be fun, Wednesday at the ballpark, because I know they'll do a good job with it. It's weird because he hasn't formally said that he's done, but we all kind of know that he's done. So
One
we're
of the weirdest
operating.
retirements that I can remember.
Yeah, we're operating in a very strange in between, but
Yeah, I think he's just weary or something, and he's just calling it, but like, it hasn't caught up. It doesn't feel real or something.
yeah.
Don't you guys get that vibe?
And I
Well,
think
it doesn't feel final because he hasn't said anything final at this point.
They've been reporting he's retiring, though.
Yeah.
Because I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he doesn't, this is just goes to show how the dude's wired. He doesn't want to make this all about him.
yeah.
He
Well,
doesn't
yeah.
want this big send off. Like, he's
Right.
literally going to have these Guardians playing until the absolute final game of the year, and then he'll come out and say,
So you're
it's
saying he
final.
doesn't want the farewell
Yeah, he
tour.
doesn't want to make it about himself.
Isn't that crazy?
And I
Like,
think
Yeah.
that is crazy.
After how many years?
He deserves the
you're
farewell
just gonna
tour.
go
Yeah,
out
if anybody.
quietly. Come on, man.
Yeah.
We need to do so much for this guy, and it's just a bummer we're going out like this too of the season. Everyone's kind of deflated. It's not good energy. He deserves a whole big party.
Well, it sounds like they're going to pack the park for him, though, with the $11 that they're charging now for
That's true.
certain seats to try and get fans in there. And I think that's really well
Yeah,
done.
go to the game Wednesday. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, what do you guys say we hit some bets and get the hell on out of here?
Let's go.
Alrighty, our big play bets this week and every week are always presented to you by our friends at Tipico Sportsbook. Download Tipico Sportsbook today. When you do and you use promo code REFLOG150, you're going to get $150 of bets on us, plus a $30 dog pound bet to use. It's Victory Monday, so get in on all the action with Tipico right now. Obviously, they have all of our favorite Browns bets, Buckeyes bets, but really get into the weeds on some of those big play boosts with us every single week. We are giving you guys the best odds in all of Ohio on some of your favorite teams, players, you name it. Tipico has it. You got to download it, though, to hear what I'm talking about. That promo code is REFLOG150. You got to be 21 years or older to gamble in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Guys, our big play boost hit. We're 2-1 on the Browns season on big play boost. That's big for us. That's big.
That always feels good on a Victory Monday. Also having a few extra bucks in your pocket because of something the Browns did. That feels good.
All right, so we're going to take a look at some of the bets this week. We're actually going to start with baseball. Guardians versus Reds on Wednesday, because it will be Terry Francona's last game managing in Cleveland. Guardians Reds, it's Shane Bieber versus Andrew Abbott. Do Guardians win Francona's final game in Cleveland?
I'm putting my money on yes. You got to send him off the right way, right? We haven't had a lot to play for here in the last 3 weeks to a month. This is one where the players can say, hey, let's get up. Let's get up for our manager, for a guy who's been around baseball for a long time. Let's win this one for Terry.
Yeah, win it for Tito. I agree. Guardians money line. It's Bieber's second start since July. And it's kind of fitting that Shane gets to pitch in this final game, because just what we talked about, I'll remember Tito so fondly because of his pitchers. I mean, having the ability to go from, just great ace to great ace to great ace, and Shane is the guy that gets to send him off in his final game in Cleveland. I think that'll be really cool. All right, let's go to Thursday night football. The Lions are 1.5-point favorites on the road in Green Bay against the Packers. The Pack came back on Sunday in kind of a comeback fashion. Derek Carr went out for the Saints. Lions, Packers. Will Detroit beat Green Bay on the road to take over first place in the NFC North?
The Lions are favored at Lambeau. How about that? How many times has that happened? That has not happened in your lifetime or my lifetime that often at all. So that's pretty wild to see. But the Lions are a team on the come. They kind of remind me of the Browns in this instance. You know, unfortunately, what happened last Monday night. Now what we're looking forward to with the Ravens. You've got to be able to overcome those teams in your division that have been stalwarts. For us, it's those two teams. For them, the class of that division is the Packers. So if the Lions are going to be the best, they got to beat the best, and it all starts in your division here.
Lions won the season opener on Thursday Night Football, and I don't think anybody saw that coming. I get that the Packers are 2-1. They are a good overall football team. I don't think they're great. I think the Lions have the makings of a great football team, and I think they win this game. I like that 1.5 too, just being a pick 'em. I think they could easily surpass that. All right, let's go to Sunday night football. The Chiefs are 9-point favorites in New York against the Jets.
Do we have to get this game? Can we flex this one away?
Zach Wilson's Jets get another primetime look. New York, I feel bad for America, really, in this matchup. But I think we do something a little bit of fun here. And we do like a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. I mean, he's our guy from Cleveland Heights, dating one of the biggest dare I say the biggest superstar in America right now, in the top of her game and her prime. I think
really, I haven't heard anything about this at all. So step me through this. What is going on?
So Travis Kelce grew up, Chris, here in Cleveland. Taylor Swift, one of the global iconic superstars. They're dating.
It paralyzed social media yesterday when they showed her on TV. I must have seen that screenshot 5 million times.
It's crazy because some worlds are colliding here. Like Swifties are now taking a look at football. And football people are like, all right, maybe I got to listen to some Taylor Swift songs.
She was up in that suite. She was like,
okay, can we break something down really quick? Because we had a question. I was watching this game with my sister, her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's brother. We were kind of evaluating when Kelce scored his touchdown, the body language of Donna Kelce and Taylor. Are we overthinking it? She was extremely excited. Taylor was going nuts, crazy. But didn't acknowledge, I feel like they needed to do a high five, and maybe she needed to bring it down to a level 7, but that could just be because she's not as understanding of, okay, they're up by so many points, he scores touchdowns all the time. Just give it a regular old woo.
This is why we need a telestrator. We need a telestrator in here right now for you, Gab, to just go through this.
I acted it out for my sister. I'm like, don't you think it should have gone something a little more like this? Yeah, high five to the mom. Yeah, all right, that's great.
That's
great
your
guy.
kid. Yeah,
but instead it was if you notice, they didn't acknowledge each other, and she was like, "That's fucking." She made it about her, not about her, but I don't know. I think I read too much into it. I think they could be very much
I read a little bit into it too, because haven't they been dating for 7 days?
Just a really quick
to
meeting the family
into the family suite at a game. You only get 8 home games every year. To have her in the suite 14 days into this relationship, it's moving pretty quick, and I did have a similar thought.
So I don't know if maybe that's where that dichotomy stemmed from, because it was you just got here kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not hating on Swiftie at all. I'm just saying I just noticed.
Don't get those Swifties after you.
No. I'm saying I noticed the body language. Was I overthinking it?
It's an all-time pull by Travis Kelce. But I gotta say, shooters shoot an all-time pull. To be at the top of your game, the best tight end in the league, to get Taylor Swift right now. I mean, Taylor Swift at any time would be huge, but Taylor Swift right now, after this big tour that she's gone on, she is the superstar in America. And to have her at your game against the Chicago Bears, all-time pull.
This is awesome.
All right, better Cleveland pull than MGK with Megan Fox. How would you power rank the both of those?
Oh, yeah, hands down.
Hands down, right?
Hands down.
It's crazy. A lot
Taylor
of
Swift is Taylor Swift.
And then you got Rich Paul and Adele.
And there you go.
Something about these Cleveland guys. All right. So what we got to do is we got to make a Swiftie parlay for Cleveland's own Travis Kelce. What is it with 1989? Something with the number 89 is big in the Swiftie universe.
And since she's dating Kelsey, we're talking about tight ends, receiving yards, over 89
yards.
Got to go over, right?
Yeah, you got to go over.
Got to go
especially
positive.
against the lowly Jets.
Yeah.
Over 89, maybe Chiefs money line. They're going to win this game just to give it a leg. And then Kelsey anytime touchdown. That hit with Taylor in attendance. I think it could hit again against the Jets.
Let's go for it.
All right, so we got the Chiefs winning. Travis going over 89 receiving yards and anytime touchdown in that game. That'll be fun.
You think he's got to be going to Mahomes saying, hey, get me the ball here in the end
we
zone,
were talking
right?
about that at halftime. You know we had to be like, okay, come on.
Come on,
let's
let's
we're
go.
up by
My
enough,
girl's
like,
right up there.
Bill
Yeah, you gotta
Belichick said that was the biggest catch of Travis Kelce's career. He's got Bill Belichick talking about it. That's how big of a deal this is right now.
They're up by like 20 points.
Yeah, so even Bill was getting in on the fun, which is
so
just
awesome.
super cool
Wait,
story.
didn't the coach say he set them up? You know, why are we still talking about that? It's because it's,
The Browns won yesterday, and we're breaking down this
I know,
relationship.
look at us.
I
We're
love
so excited.
All
But
right.
it's crazy.
The Browns did win, guys, and we got to make a same-game parlay for this game. A big
Yeah.
play boost, if you will. Ravens at Browns is another 1 o'clock start at Cleveland Browns Stadium. It's a great opportunity for the Browns to win back-to-back really big games against AFC opponents and go 3-1 heading into this bye week.
Absolutely huge. And the way the defense is playing, not giving up hardly anything, hopefully that trend continues here at home.
All right, so what are we thinking, Chris? Could this Browns defense keep Lamar Jackson shut down? I mean, they are allowing opposing teams 3 points in each appearance at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Obviously, that maybe won't be the truth the entire season. I think they hold the Ravens under, what, 20?
I like that. We're averaging, what, 10.5, 10.7 points per game right now, giving up on defense. I think we can hold them under 200. It's all or under 20. I think it all comes down to how we handle Lamar Jackson. He gives us a different look than what we've seen so far. He rushed for over 100 yards yesterday in a loss to the Colts. He can pass. He's got that dual threat that we have not seen, certainly out of Burrow week 1 and here in the last couple of weeks. So we'll see if the Jim Schwartz defense, once tested again here, whether he can come out. But everything that I've seen from this defense makes me believe he'll game plan for this and he'll shut down Lamar.
All right, so I've got the Ravens under 20 points. How many rushing yards do you think that they could hold Lamar under?
Got to go under 100, right? Can we keep him under 100?
Under 100? That's safe. That's safe.
That's
a
safe one. Keep him under 75?
Under 75, I like that.
Let's go under 75.
Keep Lamar under 75. The Ravens under 20 points. Do we want to add a third leg to this?
You got to go something offensive, right?
Yeah, what should we do?
Some kind of a pass. Who are we going to go with? You want Amari Cooper? You want DPJ?
Njoku's due.
Njoku is very due.
Njoku is very due.
Is he still on the team?
Should we sprinkle a Njoku anytime touchdown
All
in
right,
this?
let's go for it.
Go crazy.
Go crazy. All right, so we got the Ravens being held under 20 points. Lamar Jackson being held under 75 rushing yards.
Right.
And then we get crazy on the offensive side of the football. David Njoku, anytime touchdown. He is so due, Gab.
He's so due.
Manifest it,
Cheap
will it into
Yeah.
existence.
And we will see you guys next week for another episode of the Reflog Show. Make sure you download Tipico Sportsbook now. That promo code to do so is Reflog150. You'll get $150 of bonus bets on us, plus a $30 dog pound future to bet on the Browns. We'll see you guys next week. Go Browns. Let's go 3-1 heading in the bye week.